Enforcing rules at your homeowners association can be tough, but it's a little easier when you follow these 3 rules. Number 1, inspect. You must inspect your community and do it regularly to see what kind of condition folks are treating their homes, what the common standard for maintenance is, and to make sure that people are keeping their homes in accordance with your covenant. If you don't inspect regularly, you're going to have no basis on which to enforce your rules. Think about it in the context of raising children. You don't routinely inspect what they tell you or routinely communicate the rules to them, then they're going to run all over you. And that's going to happen in your community too. If you don't inspect, if you don't notify with regularity, you're going to have a more challenging time enforcing rules in your homeowners association community. Number 2, be consistent. It's really important that you don't hold one homeowner to a different standard than another. Investors can be particularly abrasive when they're treated differently than a resident, and for good reasons. They pay the same HOA fees, they have a stated interest in the community just like a resident does. If you hold them to a higher standard, if you hold a resident to a lower standard, if you show favorites with a board member or a renter or someone who has renters versus someone who lives there themselves, then you're really going to get yourself into trouble when you try to enforce your covenants. Not only is it illegal to enforce irregular standards, but it's just not fair or right, and people want to be treated fairly. Folks don't mind being held to standards as long as they know it's the same standards for everyone. So pay attention to making sure that you're consistent in regulation enforcement. And third, be reasonable. You know, it's really important to do this when you consider when we've just had a storm, for example, and people's trash cans have been blown all over the street. To go and inspect and violate them the next day for that infraction is just not reasonable, given what everyone's gone through. Or if we're in a particularly rainy season and folks can't get to mowing their lawn because everything is a little bit swampy and muddy, which would you prefer, long grass or big lawnmower ruts through your lawn? So being reasonable in those kinds of situations, looking at what's going on in the world around us, and enforcing with consistency is extremely important. Follow those 3 rules, or at least let them be somewhat of a guide for you as you go to enforce the covenants in your association, and you'll have far better results and happier residents.